Hi, so I'm continuing with the daily YouTube videos and I lost count on what day it is, but sometime in the after the first month, so I think I want to say it's day 33 of 365. But today I am going to share what came up in a meditation. Every Friday I do a specific meditation for the planet, for the collective, and anything that is along those lines. And the information I think that comes up on these days is very important for you because you are part of the collective and you're part of the planet. And we're all part of that. So first of all, I want to start with, I know I've mentioned this before, but just so you understand the concept, we are all connected energetically. We all belong to the earth, and our energy, our frequency plays into the energy and frequency that's all around us. So how it was shown to me was we're like a net around the globe, and I'm a piece of the net, you're a piece of the net, and everybody on the planet makes up this energetic net. And if my vibration is low, if I'm in a really low, dark place, I influence everyone in my circle who's also part of the net. It's almost like we can contaminate the collective frequency, which in turn influences and affects everyone else. And I'm not saying this in the sense that you need to worry about everybody else and do things just because it makes someone else happy, or that. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm saying that collectively, when our planet is going through turmoil, that is because the individuals that make up the collective are also going through turmoil. So if more of us are going through turmoil, that's going to be reflected in our everyday lives, in politics, in disease, in conflicts around the world, because the whole planet is a reflection. The whole societal and cultural issues are a reflection of our individual states. So if we want to live in a world where things go more smoothly, where there's less crime, where there's health instead of sickness, we need to represent that within ourselves, and that also increases our energetic vibration. So hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, we're all a part of that. So anytime something's going on the outside that is disturbing, it really is because of what is happening on the inside of the masses. And in order to change that, it starts with us. If we can change our own health, our own mental health, our own emotional health, and become more grounded and more in touch with ourselves, then we're going to be able to make a positive impact on the collective, and we will see that in our relationships, in the relationships that we have that are closest to us, the people that are in our lives. Those relationships will improve when the relationship with ourself improves, but on a larger scale, we will see a positive effect on the planet. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. What I was shown today was, well, first of all, there were three things. One is how important it is for an individual to manage and manicure and take care of their own energetic vibration. So if you are operating at a low level, meaning you're often sad, there's conflict in your life, you are in arguments or fights or disagreement or friction with the people in your lives, and it's causing you to be angry or out of harmony, out of peace. If you hold on to toxic emotions, I'm not saying anger is bad, I'm not saying sadness is bad, but when they're prolonged and they're not moving through us, they're not moving, they're a constant, that is creating a toxic environment within. And so if that's the case, it's so important for all of us to manage and manicure our energetic state. How do we do that? So this is the importance of stillness. If we're not still, if we don't create the space in our lives to be still, to be calm and feel peace within, then it's helpless. We're hopeless. We can't experience our lives as peaceful and still if we don't experience it within. So how do you experience it within? It is literally taking time to be still in your day. And I mean meditation or breathing or just really intentional active stillness. I guess what I mean by active stillness is you are in the activity of being still and you're very aware of that is your goal, that is your activity, and so you're doing it on purpose. You're sitting in silence, noticing your breathing, noticing the thoughts that come up, noticing how it feels for you to be still, and getting a sense of yourself, getting a sense of how have you been running yourself? How do you feel today? What messages are coming in? And what I was hearing in this meditation was, so I was asking things, I was channeling at the end of this meditation. First, it doesn't really matter. So anyways, I have kind of a way that I do this on Fridays. But towards the end, I start asking questions like, what's important for me to know about the collective? What's important for other people to know about the collective? How can I help? How can they help? That kind of thing. So these were the answers that were coming. It was about stillness, but it was also that our culture doesn't promote stillness. We aren't encouraged to be still. In fact, some people might believe and say that we're discouraged from being still because it takes us away from our true wisdom and that peace within that's accessible to all of us. But when we're constantly in motion, because we get the messaging constantly in our world that if you're listening to the news, if you're listening to the radio, if you're just listening to other people who listen to the news and the radio, and if you listen to people or get even just the energy when you go out into the world and you get this feeling that it's never enough. We have to keep moving. We have to keep doing this. We have to keep doing that. You have to buy the next thing. You have to be worried about this thing. Don't forget about this thing. Remember to keep up with, with this, with that. It's like there's just so much noise and movement that it takes us away from our own inner stillness. And our own inner stillness is where wisdom and health lie. So when you carve out time in your day, every day, to be still and to hear the wisdom within and to invite high vibration messages to come through to you, when you invite light and love and peace and joy and compassion and empathy to move through you in these moments of stillness, you are going against the grain. You're going against what the rest of the world is doing right now. But we need that. So that was the message too, is we need more people to be tapped in to their inner wisdom and to be still, to find it within the stillness. Because when we don't, what we see instead is what we're getting right now in our world. We're getting disharmony, disagreement, friction, polarization. All of that is the shadow of an individual coming up in the collective, because people aren't comfortable sitting with themselves. They're not comfortable being with their stillness, sitting with what might come up that's unpleasant, the feelings of sadness, the feelings of fear that they've pushed down for all their lives. And instead of feeling them within, they're experienced externally. Carl Jung has a quote about this. I'm so bad at quoting, I've noticed. I'm like, just butcher it. But it's something like, until someone knows their shadow and is able to sit with it inside, that person will continuously blame the external. Something like this. This isn't how he says it at all, but this is the message of the quote. So until we are comfortable with our own stillness and what lies within that, we will find that shadow, that blind spot, that unapproached aspect of ourselves externally, and we will blame the external for what we find, not realizing that it's us. So that's why it's so important to be comfortable with stillness, so that you can then be comfortable, more comfortable with your shadow aspects. And we all need that, because until we do that, we're going to continue to see a breakdown in society and communication around us. But how is it a reflection of what's within us? Right? So, okay, yeah. So keep that in mind. As above, so below. As within, so without. Same kind of thing. So what we're seeing on the outside is a reflection of what's inside. And we're all responsible for that. Another important message to you is, to all of us, is about water, drinking water. So this was interesting in the meditation. It started out with the water of the planet. There's just a lot of toxins and things that we don't really want to know about that are in our waters, in the oceans, and the water we drink. So it's just going to be really important for you to drink clean water. Make sure that you're getting access to clean water, not tap water, but spring water, bottled water, and look into maybe what kind of bottled water it is. Just be aware of your water, but also when you drink your water, be grateful for it. Put positive thoughts towards the water, because we want to charge what we put into our body with gratitude and positive energy before we ingest it. If you're in a bad mood and frustrated or upset or angry or whatever, and you just quickly drink water without thinking about it, that water gets programmed with the emotional vibration that you're carrying. So be conscious of what you're carrying when you drink your water. Be conscious of that, and try to imagine all the positive things that the water is going to be doing for you and your body, your cells, all of that, and give the water gratitude, and then drink it. And it's just going to help your body. It'll help your vibration, your energy stay higher. But also think about, like, on a daily basis, where are you getting your water from? Do you have enough access to water? Do you need to stock up on water and get some extra gallons or jugs? And just think about that. One of the crystals that the only crystal I really use on Fridays when I'm doing the earth meditation is called Chrysocolla, and it's just a really awesome stone for kind of matching with the earth, and specifically the intention of my meditations on Fridays is to bring peace, harmony, and awareness to the collective. This stone is for that. It helps bring peace, harmony, and awareness. It's a very nurturing, it is a stone that correlates to the heart chakra, but it also correlates to the crown, and I feel that it's a very grounding stone. For me, it feels like it connects to the root chakra as well, which is related to your connection to earth and more like just body awareness, more sort of grounded energy. So I love it because it kind of hits those three main centers. And that's how I've experienced it. For other, it might be different for you, but I use it specifically because it feels like the perfect stone to create harmony with Earth, and it helps me kind of mesh with the vibration of the planet and get messages about, you know, where we are in terms of like being humans on this earth. Where are we? What do we need to work on? What are some messages that the earth would have for us? Not just the earth as a planet, but also energetically, what are we up to as a collective? And because, you know, when I do the Friday meditation specifically, my goal is to assist in raising the vibration, raising the consciousness of the people and like the earth as a whole. Chrysocolla helps me tap into that, tap into the information that is needed. It's just such a cool stone. This is a raw sample, like it's not polished, obviously, and it's not tumbled. It's just a raw rock. But there are also tumbled and polished examples, and they're just really neat to look at. They remind me of the earth when you look at it, kind of like the geographic sort of maps. You have these lines, different formations, little bands going around. So yeah, so just remember that your energy impacts those around you, and if we were to zoom out and do a bird's eye perspective, you would see that we are all connected by this energetic net, and it's really important for us to maintain our own energetic hygiene so that we are taking care of ourselves first and foremost, so that we are giving ourselves the quality of life we deserve and that we're meant to have. And then also that we are positively influencing the people around us. And then on an even larger scale, we are contributing to the collective wellness instead of the collective dis-ease. So stillness is very important in order for you to achieve that energetic hygiene and tap into this wisdom that we all have. If you're not still, if you're constantly running around and giving into the messages and signals that are around us that say, go, 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 be worried, be stressed, do this, do that, pay for this, you are not enough if you don't have this. If you constantly are giving into that, or, you know, I don't want to say constantly, it's just so subtle that it's probably happening all the time, but we're not aware of it. So if you are not specifically, intentionally carving out the time to be still, you are most likely in part of that rat race. And that feeling of chaos is taking you away from everything that's needed in order for our planet to be more whole and more at peace. So be intentional with the stillness time that you put into your day. And if you could build up to 30 minutes a day, that would be amazing. If you can only do 2 minutes right now because anything longer just feels like too much, start there. Start with 2 minutes. I started with 2 minutes, I think. Maybe it was 3 minutes. And then 5 minutes. And then 10 minutes. And then I started craving it. Then I wanted more. 30 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. There were times where 60 minutes would pass by, and it was such an amazing space to be in, because our souls crave it. Our souls crave the time to have that stillness and to reconnect to what this is all really about and who we really are. But it doesn't happen right away. We need to first get over our conditioned mind that says, I don't have enough time, I'm in a rush, I can't, you know, I've got this, I've got that. Our minds are conditioned. They're used to going on that rat race mode because we're affected by the energies outside, the people around us who also are in that mode. So it's an energetic thing that we kind of like it blends into our own frequency. but also we're just not used to being in another mode, a mode that's quieter, more peaceful, more at ease. But once we're more familiar with that more steady, peaceful frequency, and we're more in touch with earth, and we're more in touch with our inner selves, then it feels more familiar and more comfortable, and then we crave it. So that's why I want to just keep pointing out, meditation and stillness and breath work does get easier, but you first have to train yourself, kind of just like working out. Like, people who love working out have been doing it for a really long time. They're not just like starting week one. In week one, it's still training. You're training the habit. You're training your body to get used to movements. You're training the pattern of movement and how it fits in with your schedule. And you're training also the thought process of, this is for me. This workout's for me. There's plenty of people who don't work out because they feel like they don't have time. But that's something that needs to be trained too. Like, you and your time are you're worth investing your time back into yourself. That's a thought process to train. That's a new philosophy for a lot of people. So just like that, just like in workouts, meditation's the same. In the beginning, you're just training a lot of different things. You're training the habit, you're training the concept of, this is good for me. Maybe I don't see it yet. Maybe my brain's convincing me I don't have time. Maybe my brain is convincing me that this isn't going to help anything. So you're training all of that in the first, times of meditation. It might take a couple months, it might take a couple years. Everyone's different. There's some people who, after their first few experiences of meditation, they're so into it. They love it. They're like, I get it now. I need to do it. I want to do it. But everyone's different. The bottom line is, return to your own inner messages. Return to the sense of stillness and peace within. Return to that. Once you do, so much positive influence comes from that, and you will benefit. You will see the benefits, but first you have to do it. It's very important for the state of the world. It's important for where we are right now as a collective. It's important for your health. And I'll just leave with this. Wouldn't you rather be a contributor to the collective goodness rather than a taker and a negative influence? Wouldn't you rather be light than dark? Okay, that's all. See you around.